In this video, we're going to talk about setting up a new site in SharePoint. A site in SharePoint is a container for lists. And a list in SharePoint is just a container for all the things we might want to work with. So we've been primarily focused on documents, and document libraries in SharePoint can be thought of as nothing more than just a list of documents. If we wanted to expand out our site at some future point and add a calendar, well, a calendar is nothing more than just a list of specific events at specific dates and times. If we wanted to track task assignments on our site, we could add a tasks list, a specialized type of list designed just for tracking and managing tasks. So the first step in setting up any new SharePoint deployment is creating one or more sites to house the lists and/or libraries that you want to work with. Setting up a new site in SharePoint is pretty easy. All we need to do is click on the Create Site button. When we do, we're presented with two different choices for the types of site we might want to create. Our first option is a team site. The second option we're presented with is a communication site. The best way to understand the difference is to think of the level of engagement that you want to have on the site. Communication sites are generally designed for publishing or one-way communication. They're not designed to be as interactive as team sites. Team sites, on the other hand, are exactly what the name implies. They're a site designed to help teams and groups come together and manage their workloads, common concerns, work artifacts, and business processes. So if you're looking to set up more of a one-way informational site or repository, a communication site might be an appropriate choice. But there's a good chance for most of your day-to-day activities and projects, you're going to want to set up a team site instead. We'll go ahead and use a team site in this example. Once we select our team site, we're going to be asked to give it a name and description. We'll go ahead and set up a site to manage our new fictional company, Acme Incorporated. I can provide a site description. And I can also specify the security or privacy settings that I want. Do I want to make this site public so that anyone in my organization can see the site? Or do I want to set it up as private? Now, it's important to note that whatever you choose here for your privacy settings, this is going to be your default starting point. If I choose a private site, I'm not necessarily committed to my site always being private. I can always go at a later date and add members. Conversely, if I choose a public site, I can always go and remove or restrict membership later. This is just asking, what model would you like the site to start with? For this example, I'm going to choose a private site just because I'm going to be using this Acme Incorporated site purely for training purposes. This will keep other coworkers and colleagues from stumbling across it and getting confused. Now, I can also add additional site owners and members here as I set up my site. Site owners will be the people who have administrative rights on the site, who can set up new lists and libraries, remove lists and libraries, manage and change security permissions, etc. Whereas site members are just considered to be ordinary users of the site. They can consume and share information on any of the site lists or libraries that exist, but they can't change the overall site structure itself or access any of the administrative or security functions. In this example, I'll just go ahead and leave myself as the site owner, and I won't be adding any additional owners or members, as this is just for educational purposes. Now that our new site has been created, we can start using it. You'll see that the team site template gives me a few lists and libraries to begin with right out of the box. I get a conversations library for managing conversations on the site, a documents library for managing documents and files, a site notebook for keeping, taking, and managing notes in, a site pages library for creating additional pages beyond this top-level site homepage. And then I can also view the site contents. Clicking on this link will show me these same lists and libraries, as well as any lists and libraries which have been hidden from this side or quick navigation. And I also have a recycle bin. This functions exactly like the recycle bin or trash can on your desktop. And you'll see a little bit later how we can delete files and quickly and easily recover them later if we've made a mistake simply by going to the recycle bin. The purposes or main purpose of our site here for Acme Incorporated is going to be setting up and managing document libraries and various document or content types. We'll get into that in future lessons, but now that we have a site up and running, we have a place to set up and manage everything that we'll cover in those future lessons.